Why not try sending a test eBlast to see how it all works? To do this, jump into Keeler and head to the eBlast section and click on this purple Create eBlast button. Give it a name. Let's just say Test eBlast, very creative. Choose a category. I'm going to put Other and click Save. Okay, so I've got a list of action items that I need to complete. Let's start with the top one, Add Recipient. So this is who the eBlast is to. You can choose to send an email to all contacts or to folks who are in a specific contact segment. So segments are lists that you can create in your account based on specific filters that you choose. So a really cool way to specify exactly who needs to be receiving an eBlast based on their donation history or their contact profile data. You can filter on a lot of things. Because I'm just running a test today, I'm going to keep it as a contact segment, but I'm also going to play around with a test tag. So to do that, I'm just going to open Keeler up in another screen, head to contacts, and I'm going to add myself as a contact profile. For this, I know that I'm opted in because it's me. So I'm going to change my email subscription status to opted in. All right, once I'm here, I'll head down to admin and I might add myself to a test eBlast tag. I'll go ahead and create a new tag directly from here and I'll save myself as that. And then the last step is heading to segments. This is where you create your eBlast mailing lists. And the best part about them is that they keep themselves up to date. So if I create one, let's call it my test eBlast segment. And the filter I want to use, so I want to filter out contacts only those who have this specific tag, that tag that I created, right? And I'll save it. And like I said, this segment keeps itself up to date. So if you add anybody else to that tag in the future, they'll automatically be added here because that's the filter that we have going. Okay, enough of that. Let's head back to this page here where hopefully I can choose there we go. I thought maybe it wouldn't work if I was in a different screen, but it's beautiful as always. So I can choose that segment that I created. And like I said, add as many people to you want in the future as you want to it in the future, and they'll always be added. Otherwise, just select all contacts if you're doing a big email. Here we have an option to let Keeler know that you would like the system to send this eBlast to anybody who has an unknown subscription status. So you'll remember when I was adding that profile of myself, I changed my email subscription status to opted in. If you don't let us know that your contacts are opted in or opted out, their subscription status will automatically be set to unknown. And this is to ensure that everyone's kept in line with anti-spam compliance laws. We need to make sure that we receive active confirmation that someone's opted in. If you like, you can choose to send the emails to folks with this unknown subscription status. So that's a choice that you might want to make. I'm sending a test. I want to be pretty clear about who it's going to, and I know that I've set myself as opted in, so I don't need to select that. Okay, next up we've got from. So who do we want this eBlast to be sent from? So you can send it from any user within your Keeler account, so anyone who's been added as a team member or from your organization. When you sign up with Keeler, you'll be automatically given these Keeler email addresses that you can send from, but you might have your own email address that is connected to your domain and uses that for your email address. So for example, this could be elsie at thepapaproject.org or elsie at bbc.co. As long as the section that comes after the @ sign, this part here, has your domain in it, so your organization's name, you may be eligible to connect that domain, so the papaproject.org or mcdonalds.com, to your Keeler account through our SendGrid integration and use that email. So I recommend getting the help of the person who manages your website or the person who's responsible for looking after your domain which might be something along the lines of www.keela.co, something like that, and just sending them through these instructions here. The connect your domain to Keela via SendGrid. That's the one you want. And that'll go through the entire process, explain everything that I'm talking about now, and let them know how they can get that updated. But for the moment, I'm just going to choose the Papa Project organization and keep the name as Papa Project. If your contacts reply to your eBlast, their messages will be automatically logged on their Interactions tab on their profiles. And you can also choose for team members to receive those replies in their Keela inbox too. You can add them as reply recipients here. But I'm going to keep that as myself. Make the subject snappy and that'll grab everyone's attention. You can add attachments like PDF documents or Word documents and things like that. I'm going to skip that for the moment and add content down the bottom. So you can choose from any of Keela's pre-built templates or a basic blank template down here if you're wanting to build it from scratch. If you've already created your own eBlast templates, you can click over here to saved templates and select that from the list. So you can jump in here now and you can make changes to it that won't update the previous eBlast. They'll just only be specific to this email that you're sending out. So that can be a really good option if this is something that gets sent out regularly, like a newsletter. So make your changes, and when you're ready, click Save and Continue. And you've got a few options to send this eBlast. You can send it right now, or you can schedule a time for it to be sent. One thing to note is that if you do use schedule send time, we will send it out at that specific time. You won't get a warning. So just make sure that you don't do this when you're testing out emails. Make sure you only do this when you're 100% sure that you want it to go out in that time. Or you can send a test to yourself. So sending a test to yourself is really good if you're just wanting to review the content and make sure it looks nice and pretty and it all works. In this scenario, I'm using the more advanced method of sending a test to myself by creating this segment just so that I can view the eBlast statistics, so that I can see how that smart code works when I personalized it, and just things like that. So it's up to you which one you do, but just note that if you do send a test to yourself, the unsubscribe link and the smart code won't populate. And that's because these are directly connected to contacts profiles. So they won't work in the test environment. They only work in the live environment, which is why I'm sort of making sure I send an actual eBlast to myself in this tag. So just click send right now, and then you're done. There are a lot more articles that you can explore in our knowledge base that run deeper into this. So you can just search eBlast in here. There's heaps. There's a training video that runs into more depth as well. And we've got information on how to create and send them from here as well. So everything in this list is kind of detailed if you want to read up on it or just kind of dive further into it. It's a choose your own adventure, folks, and you're welcome to every fork in that road.